G'day everyone, Sam Spinks here from the north coast of Tassie, and behind me I've got the Stabicraft 1450 Explorer. Water's so clear. So for the last 2 months, I've been fortunate enough to test this package out, and to say the least, this boat has been super impressive and it's just about ticked every box. So in this video, you're going to see a full walkthrough throughout the whole package, what we've done with the boat over the last 2 months, and my thoughts and opinions of it along the way. So before we get into it, a massive shout out goes out to Deegan Marine Ulverston for giving me the opportunity to test out this boat. It's been awesome. So far, this boat's taken me on solo missions out on Tassie's west coast, targeting kingfish. Out of the 1450, let's see him go. Oh. Yes. We've done 150-kilometre round trips chasing big schools of southern bluefin tuna. Second bluefin out of the Stabie, 1450, how good's that? What do you reckon, Callum? First ever tuna. You ready to get him back? Ready. Let's go. Yes, there he goes. That's so good. Oh. We've loaded up with diving gear on the hunt for some crayfish in abalone. We've taken it down to some of Tassie's rivers and lakes, targeting brown trout. Big, huge trout. West coast of Tassie. We love the little plastic. That's the little Galaxia that the trout just spat out when we landed it. So that's what we're flicking around, trying to target them with. Look how fat it is. All of those little mountain trout. Really cool. Galaxias. And lastly, we've even pulled the water skis and kneeboard behind this little 1450, and it did it with ease. So super impressive in all areas. So with the 1450 here, you've got the nice big pontoons on the side and then the sharp V that runs from the front all the way to the back. And I found this gives the perfect balance between ride and stability. This boat's really stable at rest, but also once you're up and running, you've got a great ride. And I really haven't found a sea that this boat doesn't like. It handles well in just about everything, especially for a 4.5 metre boat. Another well thought out design is this flared bow that this boat has. It actually runs all the way around to the back of the boat, and this gives you a really dry ride, especially paired with those pontoons. If you drive this boat properly with weight distribution, the right trim, you're definitely going to have nearly a completely dry ride. Something that sets this 1450 apart from its competition has got to be these super wide gunnels on the back 2/3 of the boat. They're actually 270mm wide, which gives you plenty of room to mount accessories such as this cup holder or this bait board. Gives you plenty of room to sit down, and it makes the boat feel really safe for a 14.5 footer. So up here on the starboard side gunnel, we've got the Garmin 95 SV Eco Map sounder. It's on this ram swivel mount, so if I'm sitting at the back here using the sounder, I want to show the people up the front what's going on in the sounder, I can easily swivel it around, back, and quickly tighten it up again, and it's nice and solid. Another pretty cool feature with this ram mount is that the sounder actually comes out nice and easy. So just unclip it like that, and you've got your sounder out. Really good design there, nice and easy, makes packing up and getting ready nice and quick. So at the back here you've got twin steps, you've got one on each side, and I didn't realise how handy these were until I stepped onto this boat and got used to a boat that had them. Everything about it makes it so much easier. If you've got the option to put them on, definitely go with it. So sitting underneath this 1450, we've got a full skid, easy tow, galvanised trailer. It's super easy to launch and retrieve, being full skid, no problem at all driving on, and it's easy to hook up. Spare wheel on the front there, as you can see. I actually own one of these trailers myself, had it about 4 years now, and I can say that they are a quality product. It still presents as new, so great option for when you're looking into one of these boats. Another one of the features on this boat that really sets it apart from its competition is definitely that self-draining deck. A lot of 14, 15 foot boats don't have that. And I've found it really handy, especially when we was tuna fishing. We had blood all over the deck, water all over the deck, and we had to get it out of the boat really quickly. So we just put the scuppers down, opened up the bungs, and then it all flowed out within a matter of a couple of minutes. So a lot of dinghies, you've got a false floor, and then all the water typically goes underneath the floor. And that is a bit of a trap, because if you are to cop a bit of water over the transom here, you don't want any of that water staying under the floor, and it is hard to get out. You might have bilge pumps under there and it just doesn't work too well. But with this self-draining deck, you know the water's going to come straight out and you're not going to have any issues out on the water. So not only is it practical, it just gives that extra sense of safety, and that's something that I really dig on this boat. So just to demonstrate how well the self-draining deck works, I bought a 20 litre bucket with me, and I'm going to dump, say, 120 litres of water on this deck here. And then I'm going to undo the bungs and take off, and I'm going to show how well the self-draining deck works, and I'll time to see how quickly all the water gets off the deck. All right, as we can see, we've got water all over the deck here. Start the engine up. And we'll get going and see how long it takes for all this water to drain out. So, got our stopwatch up here, and we're underway. Alright, so there we have it. Just over 3 minutes and 120 litres all off the deck. So I think that was really impressive. And to see how well that motor's still playing with all that water on the deck sloshing about, and this boat didn't handle badly at all. It stayed nice and level. Goes to show how well this boat handles, even with all that weight sloshing about. So another big tick to Stabicraft. So there, as you can see, all that water completely out. So I just like to put the bungs back in. It just stops any water coming in at all. I have found the scuppers, they do let a tiny bit of water in over time, especially when you stop for a while. So put the bungs back in and you're going to have absolutely no water coming in. So that's how I like to operate it, and it works really well. So on the back of the 1450 Staby, Deegan Marine have set up this 40 horsepower Mercury 4-stroke, which is the 3-cylinder model. So the 3-cylinder model is the lightweight version in the 40 range from Mercury, and I think it suits this boat perfectly. It comes in still at under 100 kilos, which means it's not too heavy on the back of the transom for this boat. In the Mercury 40 range, there's a couple of different options with tillers that you can have. You can have just a little basic tiller there, or you can have this big tiller that we've got set up on this one here. And it's got a lot of features on it that you need, and they're right at your fingertips, and it works really well. So we'll go through those now. Tilt and trim button right at the end, perfect. It's in a great spot. Moving along, we've got a troll feature here. You can increase RPM and decrease RPM quite easily, so that's really good. Down here you've got your throttle friction, so you can tighten it up, and it's harder to twist the throttle, loosen it off again, and it's nice and easy to twist. So that's really handy, especially on those longer trips where you don't want to adjust the throttle. Obviously up here you've got your gear stick, and this gear stick is so smooth. I haven't seen a tiller steer motor with a gear shift so smooth like this one here. It never clunks into gear and it never grinds the gear, so well done there by Mercury. Coming down to the back here, you've got your start and your stop button and your kill switch on there, which is really good. On this big tiller arm, I know it might be hard to see, but as we turn that on, we've got all our warning lights. So you've got battery levels there, you've got overheat warnings, all that sort of stuff, which is really handy to be able to see on a tiller steer motor like this one. I reckon one of the best features that this big tiller has is the locking system with the lift up and down. So usually you drive the boat with the tiller down like this, and that's when you're sitting down. But when you want to stand up and drive, most tillers, they go up but then they fall down, and you got to hold it there yourself, and it's not really comfortable. But with this Mercury 40 and this new tiller design, they've given you the option to lock it in place. So it's got 3 or 4 settings. So there's the first one, goes up to the next one, all the way up to there, which is really good when you're standing up and driving. And then it also goes all the way up. So then when you want the tiller arm out of the way, fold all the way up and it doesn't fall down. And then you can easily put it all the way back down again. So just works really well with all the 3 options there. And I've found that really handy on this boat, especially for standing up and driving. So well done to Mercury there. Something else I've really enjoyed about this little Mercury 40 is the fact that it's compatible with your phone. So with the VestaView mobile app, I can connect this outboard to my phone and I've got all the engine data on here. So I just checked, I've put 35 hours on it. That's really handy, so you know when you need to take it up to get serviced and whatnot. And you've also got stuff like your RPM, your fuel flow, your speed, all that sort of stuff. So previously in this boat, I've done a couple of hole shots to see how the motor performs. And this app, it records the hole shot and what your peak speed is and what RPM you're doing at that peak speed. So I've already done that. I'll roll on those clips. There we go, a bit of an improvement on that one, 56.5 kilometers an hour. We got to 6,220 RPMs. That's pretty impressive for a little 40 on a 14.5 foot boat, 15 foot boat. So yeah, you got to be happy with that. So what I might do now is take off. I've got the engine data app up here and I might see what sort of fuel economy stats we're getting, what speeds, what RPMs and whatnot. So after I've done that, we'll do a bit of a summary on that. Been interrupted while we're getting our engine data. Got a few dolphins here in the channel. How cool is this? Oh, I can almost touch them. Wow, look at that. They're huge. We actually got our best cruising speed at 4,000 RPM. We were doing 35 kilometers an hour using 6.1 litres an hour. So that works out to be 5.74 kilometers to the litre. So really fantastic fuel economy with this engine. We go up to wide open throttle, 6,220 RPMs. We're doing 55 kilometers an hour and we're using 15.3 litres an hour. So that's still not much for going full noise. Goes to show how far these little motors have come over the years. So something that works really well on this boat is the simple design and layout. So with this Mercury big tiller, the throttle is right there at your fingertips. No need to be reaching all the way back here and being uncomfortable. It's right here, which makes it really comfortable, especially when you're doing those long trips. And as we come up the side here, we've got the 9-inch sounder mounted on that ram mount. Nice and solid ram mount. You can actually hold onto that, I've found. It works really well. Everything's at your fingertips here too. You're not reaching too far forward. It's all right there. So simple design, simple concept, but works really well and it's been great. First impressions when you get on the Stabicraft 1450 is how stable it is for a 14-foot boat. With these pontoons around the side and the sealed deck, you've got heaps of buoyancy and that only gets even better as you put more weight in the boat. I can stand up here on the side of the gunnel and you hardly even know. Both steps are still pretty well out of the water. So that goes to show how level this boat's still sitting, even with me right up on the side here. So something I really like on this boat is the open configuration it has. So that front section up there with the seats and the cast deck right up the front, it allows you to have a really big deck space. So you've got deck space all the way from the transom here, which runs all the way up to the front of the boat. So plenty of deck room for all your gear when you're going out with a few people. So for me, if I had to change one thing about this boat, it's a very hard decision because it's absolutely perfect the way it is at the moment, but something about this boat is that there's no dry storage in it. That's one thing it lacks. Other than that, absolutely perfect, but I'd love to see nice sealed up dry storage in the front, somewhere to put all your gear, and I think that'd just make this boat the ultimate 14.5 footer. So if you're in Tassie and you're interested in this package or any of the products such as Stabicraft and the Mercury range, don't be afraid to head into Deegan Marine Ulverstone and they'll sort you out. Great products, great service in there, and this boat here has just been a perfect example of that. And once again, massive thank you to Hadley and the team at Deegan Marine for having the trust in me to take this boat out and really test it out in a range of situations. It's been awesome, and I'd highly recommend this boat. It's great fun. So the bad weather's just coming in. We've got clouds and rain coming, so it's time to finish up the video. Thanks for watching. I hope this video gave you a bit of an insight into the Stabicraft 1450 Explorer, and if you enjoyed, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.